Throughout history, humanity has faced its most powerful enemy. Even Zeus, the king of the gods, had to descend to earth. He led 4 of the mightiest gods to battle, but in the end, 3 of them perished. Only Zeus, badly injured, managed to return to Mount Olympus with Athena. Their enemy was the Titans. The Titans were once gods, but thousands of years ago, they were defeated in the War of the Gods and imprisoned by Zeus in the prison of Hell Mountain. It wasn't until centuries later that a human king, Hyperion, emerged. He picked up the divine bow, broke the prison, and released the Titans, igniting the bloodiest war in human history. Hyperion's quest for revenge began years before, when his wife died from a plague. She had prayed daily to the gods, but in the end, she could not survive. From that moment, Hyperion's heart filled with thoughts of vengeance against the gods. To fight the gods, he sought out the only power capable of matching them, the imprisoned Titans under Hell Mountain. Only the divine bow could break their prison. So, the king led his army to conquer Greece. He knew of 4 sacred virgins, one of whom had the power of prophecy and could foresee the divine bow's location. The tyrant occupied the church, burned the priests, and then began the massacre of the Cliff city-state. The gods watched all of this from the heavens. Although they wished to intervene, Zeus had forbidden the gods from directly involving themselves in mortal affairs. Anyone who defied this order would be turned to ash. Yet, Zeus secretly descended and taught a mortal named Theseus the art of combat. Theseus rose up, managing to pierce 11 enemies with his spear. However, the enemy numbers were too great, and he was eventually overpowered, helplessly watching the tyrant kill his mother. Seeing Theseus' strength, the tyrant decided to keep him alive as forced labor. Meanwhile, the 4 sacred virgins were outside getting water. The prophet, who had the ability to foresee the future, accidentally brushed against Theseus' foot. In that instant, she saw a vision. Theseus would obtain the divine bow and fight alongside the king. Although she didn't fully understand what the future held, she knew that Theseus would play an important role. She lifted her veil and secretly warned the laborers around her to prepare for an escape, and urged Theseus to survive at all costs. That night, the virgins danced in a circle to attract the attention of the guards. As the soldiers approached, the virgins suddenly pulled out hidden weapons and stabbed them in the neck. Theseus and the other laborers seized the opportunity to take out the remaining enemies. To cover their escape, the other virgins were captured. They prepared to flee by boat, but the tyrant's army quickly arrived. Just as the situation grew dire, Poseidon could no longer stand by and decided to descend to Earth to aid humanity.